Hey there, welcome back to the virtual table. All right, this one is the toughest mission yet. I definitely struggled, like I said at the end of the last video. But the key thing here is you want to basically go massively in debt. They give you this new finance department, which allows you to do that, and we have to go extremely in debt, and then we need to make money, obviously fast. We got to use that debt to get some passenger routes set up. If you are trying to do like that challenge of no passenger routes, the only thing that really is available to you is you do have a farm up here and a wheat field down here, and then you also have oil and an oil refinery, and they're right next to each other. And this has a demand for oil here, and then you have a demand for oil in your starting town. So you could get some nice oil runs going, and then there's even oil demand up in Cleveland. So there's a lot of options, I guess, for non-passenger stuff. Um, but you do get to, um, I mean, you get to choose to do what you want. So, excuse me. There are 15 people in Canton, and then you can see there's a big 35 in Columbus. So you can actually do several passenger routes. Um, I think ideally I want to get some Cleveland Columbus action going, but I might also do Canton to each as well. Um, really though, Cleveland to Columbus is good enough, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so why would the farming thing be a little of a downtrodden? The first one is you um, I, I suppose you could really make any of them work. Um, the thing I struggled with getting the farm path going. I mean, you do have meat here and here. The problem I ran into is I get these two cities connected. I get the meat connected. I get everything going. Remember, a Menmon costs 40,000, or you can use a John Bull, which will carry a lot less. So then you're not making as much meat. The problem I ran into is uh, it doesn't take long to max these things out at 20 meat. They do consume it, but it doesn't consume it nearly fast enough, as fast as I'm trying to deliver it for the money. And then there's a similar problem with the oil. The kerosene is the only thing you could really sell. The lubricants are pretty worthless unless you transport it all the way over to here, and that track cost is just very prohibitive. So so some of what you're going to deal with is that you do get some influx of money, um, but it's not a lot. Or you start to hit a cap because you sell 20. You still, my apologies. You sell 20, which does make you money, but you still don't have enough to get going and do what you need to do. And as always, passengers are free, and they're pretty much unlimited. So it is cheaty. I mean, I understand why like some people were like, okay, let's make it more challenging. All right, so with that said, we do start. There is a contract here. This guy needs steel, which is way too far away. There's no way we're going to be able to do that. I can't even do the warehouse trick on that guy. Um, and then we do have this guy, which makes some things cost a little bit less. Not that big of a deal. And like I said, the prices are pretty high. But first thing we want to do is issue some bonds. And looks like we can get 90 grand. And let's make it 12 months. Now, the way this is going to work, and I know some of you are financial people and this makes sense to you, we're going to owe 5%, which means every month I'm just going to get $4,500 taken away from me. And then at the end of the 12 months, I owe 90 grand back because that's the way bonds work. You got to pay back the full amount that you took, and I'm going to lose 2,700 just from a one-time commission. I'm going to pay 54,000 in interest, and then I still owe the 90 grand back on top of that. So I'm going to get 90 grand now, and I'm going to owe back 144,000 ish. So it's not a great deal, but it's going to get me 90 grand, boom, right in my pocket. And then I'm also going to take a loan, and I'm going to loan the two things that I have as collateral. And I'm going to make that 12 months, so I'm going to owe 11,893 a month. Now the good news with this is after 12 months, it is paid off. Like, this is truly a loan that every time I make a payment, I'm reducing the principal. So I'm going to do that, and that puts me at 141,000 to do whatever shenanigans I need to do. So first thing I want to do is let's get going down into Columbus. And as you can see, that was 20 grand. I am going to have Columbus at least go to size 2. And I'm going to flip this. And I want a Columbus run to go straight to Cleveland. For 36,000. And I want to buy a Jervis. That's 55 miles an hour. That drops it to 15. Boy, that's such a drastic drop, isn't it? So we're going to do that. And then we're going to draw another one. This is me with 16 grand. It's not much. So I guess for the 16 grand, we'll get a repair shop in. With some faster maintenance. So we can get both of these guys repairing. And off we go. So I got to make enough money to deal with these loans. I can go 200,000 in the hole, actually. So what I'm going to do is I need to make more money. So I'm actually going to buy a third train and a fourth train. So I'm at negative 56,000, and then we're going to make it count. We're going to make sure they have pathways. So I'm at almost negative 100,000. And let's go. So it's telling me I can only go up to 200 grand. The moment this hits negative 200 grand, I lose the scenario. And you're going to see every day I'm paying 1,000 in interest. See, I'm going further and further in debt every day. Another $1,100 is being added to my debt. 1,100 more. So there's 1,100 more. I mean, it's pretty nasty. And then every month I'm going to get 14 grand from my loan and another, 12 grand from my bonds. So it's a little scary. But by having 4 of them, so I'm actually going to pay 7 grand because I need to get extra filling stations going. So I might be pushing it a little too far. Okay, and then we got one more dude ready to go. He's waiting for free track. I don't know why they're not using both tracks, but there they go. So I'm very deep in the hole, but I do have 4 trains going. And the passengers are low, but it will build up. And then when we get up here, he's already got some passengers building up. So let's see what we get. So we're going to earn 4,200 per passenger. And then the mail gets us about 6,000. So we went from 140, we made 5 grand debt into our, and look at that, it jumped up to 137. So our debt is just racking up 138. But we're going to start making some serious money here. Get that debt to drop. 118, 114, 110. We got her down to 100. I still got one more train coming in. But see, it just keeps going up because we got more and more interest. It's pretty scary. It's like watching the national debt for the United States. That number just goes up like mad. Alright, so we got it down to 94, but then it just jumped up to 108. A lot of that is the refueling costs. But there we go. We got 3 of them going. And then the 4th guy got his troops. So we went from 140 down to 112. So not exactly super progress, but we went down by 30 grand. And here we go. We're delivering again. So we're down to 99, but see, look, we got repairs. And that's part of the reason why I've been trying to do this type of stuff. So I am going to spend some money here because they're all going to want repairs. We're going to try to get it at least below 6 digits of debt. But remember, as soon as a month goes by, another 14 grand just gets added on. The daily payment is $932 at the moment. I am getting it down. We got a lot of repairs going on, as you can see. But we at least paid to have it in parallel. We're moving in the right direction. We were just at 140. So after a couple of runs, we're now down to negative 80. Now, here's the kicker. This jerk who we work for, that gambler, he's going to give us quests that says, I need 50,000 in like a month. And that 50,000 has to be positive 50,000. And he takes it from you. So you're basically going to have to come up with like these large sums of money to just help him with his gambling addiction. He eventually asks you for like 100,000, and I can't remember what the amounts are, but it comes out of nowhere, like him asking you for it, and he doesn't give you a lot of time. So we need to get to a positive balance and stay positive. Eventually. I mean, as you can see, we were at minus 140. Now it looks like we're consistently around minus 70, which I'm very happy with. That was after 1 delivery, and then we got 2. The key magic number is to get 4 trains going like this. It took a lot of debt to get 4 trains purchased, but you can already see we're in the green for all 4 of them. And then as they come in and start delivering, they're all around 20 grand in the green, and we've gained well over 40 grand in interest. So, you know, some of this green here that you see has actually been eaten up by interest, but we're getting it down. We were at minus 140, we went down to minus 100, and now here we are, we're getting into minus 40 territory. I think one more trip down and back, and we'll probably be back to breaking even, and then we can start considering getting some other stuff going. I could also lay some track here and get even more passenger routes going between Canton and Columbus. I'm not sure how much I really want to do that, but it is definitely an option. Another option is to start taking passengers from here in Cleveland, maybe going to Detroit. I know this is Lake Erie here, and Lake Erie is a big darn lake, but the game does let you build a bridge right across the lake. I don't even know if that's engineering possible. But in this game you can do it. You can go straight across the lake and go right to Detroit. So, you know, as far as I understand, you know, in real life there's only ferries available. Not the Dungeons and Dragons kind. Another option is we can come out the back end of Columbus and go this way. But, you know, Lima is not super big, and neither is Marion. So Fort Wayne is the only. Well, see, that's not very big either. So there's not a lot of cities to connect to coming out the back way. Um, there's a lot of nice cities along the lake here, but that's, Battle Creek is not very big. So trying to get some passenger routes out the back end of Columbus, not so easy, but you could get some nice industrial things going. And Columbus is going to be a key city for that. I am going to want to, let's see, we got a tool factory requires steel. This requires iron, and the nearest iron is, there's one here. Oh, I'm sorry, it requires iron. That's right close to it. The hard part about this one, it's only 80 grand, and I bet it would cost 80 grand just to get the track out there. But look at this, we're in the positive. So we do have to pay back our debts. You can see this, our payment's 11,000. We still have 9 months left. Like I said, this one you have to pay in full. We can pay it back earlier, which will save us the $4,500 a month in interest that we're going to be paying. That's not a bad deal. By paying this in full, of course, I'm going negative 40,000 again. But I'm going to go ahead and do that because the bonds suck. I don't know why the U.S. government issues bonds or anybody. I mean, bonds are, to me, financially a very bad deal. I mean, it's basically people who are desperate for money now. And then, of course, whatever they're going to invest that money in is going to earn them more money than they're paying in interest. But it's a ridiculous amount of money. Just like in real life, I guess. So yeah, that does put me back to the negative. But see, I'm paying a daily payment of only $163. $163 is not going to get me to $4,500. That was before. And so the bond is already fully paid, and we're in great shape. This one, the payoff amount is $107,000. So that's the problem. Is the original loan amount was $52,000, but to pay off the loan is a ridiculous amount of money. So you basically don't avoid the interest, is what I'm trying to say. So you might as well let that run its course. Okay, I think what we're going to do is try to get this oil chain going. Another thing we got to do is we got to get we're going to spend 20 grand here, and let's get our departments going. We're going to get R&D up. The trading department, I don't need it right away, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. And again, that filled up everything. But with the R&D up, we could at least get this started. We have the American, which is way better than the Jervis. So we probably do want to get that going. 85 grand to research. It's normally 100,000, but remember we took those bonuses. That makes our research cheaper. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the Menmon finished. For now, this is just a little message letting us know we went below zero again, which I tend to do. I mean, I actually don't care about the 1% interest. Right now it's 0.7%, which is actually better. You do get a score, like a B rating, an A rating, C rating for your loans. I don't know where you can look that up, but they do give you a score. It'll pop up from time to time in a message box down here. So we're back to positive again. I think I'm gonna get the research going. There we go. Credit rating has been changed from a BAA to an A. So we're getting a really good credit rating, and that helps with our daily rate. So our interest rate dropped to 0.6% now. So we're at 50 grand. This is expensive, but I want to get this going. And we can at least get one of the HR departments in. Actually, two of them. And then I'd have to spend 60 grand to do the final bit, and I'm not going to. At least not now. Don't care about really either of these. So, but we at least have the ability to hire an employee if they're going to be good. And then we also have the ability to get, for example, that's going to be 85 grand. I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's going to put us way down into debt again. So we're 90 grand in debt. I could issue, for example, a bond for that 90 grand. So we're at least not accruing interest. And then we'll just pay it all back. And then our rating went from A to CAA, so we went down because we did that. But that's okay. We're going to let our trains earn some money. And then we'll pay this back. And then in the meantime, we're going to get this oil industry thing going. We already went back up to a B rating, which all that causes that is that we're generating some nice revenue. We're doing fine. It's pretty easy to make back 100 grand with our current setup. So I do need to get 2 tracks going, and it's a very tight turn, but let's come out the back end. That's 16 grand. Another 13 grand. So it goes through the money fast when you're laying this track and paying for the stations. We do have a nice little town here. We could try to do something. We do have a farm up here. It's a pain in the butt to take the wheat all the way up to the farm. It's a little nicer to just take the wheat from here to this farm here. This wheat is not as useful because, as you know, it's very difficult to go through tracks. We got another farm here. We do have the weapon factory, but I would need a steel mill. I do have coal right here, but the closest iron is over here. And oh, there's some coal right there. That's rare. You don't usually get that. There's some iron way up there. Oh, look, there's another coal in the corner. And then all the logs are here. So none of the logs are near us. So I can get the logging industry going, but it's got to be up here. They actually provide a sawmill up there. So if I can get connected to Detroit, I can branch out from there. There's actually a lot of options, but you got to get connected to it first. I do have a tool factory available. We actually own the tool factory. So you need lumber though. So that's the problem, right? We just mentioned that there's no lumber, there's no wood down here. So I have no way to make easy lumber unless I want to just buy it from the global market. And that's a very pricey thing. We do have a steel mill. So we have industries already in place right now. We actually have 2 steel mills. We got one up here too, in Cleveland. And so we can get the industries going. We can use that steel to make tools. We can use that steel to make weapons. And once we get that going, the tools are going to be a little bit harder because of the wood. But we can make the weapon factory go right away. And I have weapons demand here in Columbus and in Cleveland. And 40 weapons selling at 55 grand each is tremendous. So I do have to get the coal down to here. And I would also have to get the iron over. But that's a doable thing. And in fact, this one here might actually be very attractive. Oh, and Cleveland requires meat. Look at that. We got 2 things we could try to do. So let's say we wanted to do... So if I click on this middle one, right, and have them come out, and we're going to cut across. That iron is what I need for the steel mill, right? I know there's a steel mill here, but the only thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be connecting to that, and it's going to be 51 grand to connect to it. And then he needs to have iron delivered to him, so that's down here. So what I could do is just connect to the iron like this, and then do another one that just connects up. And then we could do like a quick route to deliver the iron to that steel mill, satisfy the contract. That'll help justify the cost of laying down this track. And we satisfy that contract, get it out of the way, and then we can use that train to keep delivering the iron to the steel mill here. So we could just get that process started, and we can use the contract to get us the revenue. I still want to get the oil going. We have everything in place, but we have another contract where I can connect this wheat field up to the small farm, and it's a little annoying because I'm going to have track going this way. I need to connect to this coal mine, so I need track going this way. And you see how they're going to interfere with each other? So this wheat field, I could go right up the edge of the map around this and then connect to the small farm. I know that seems annoying. The other thing I could do is just come straight up this way, connect, and then try to cross through the traffic. It's doable, but it's not as doable. And then the meat is in demand for Cleveland. So I don't know if I have enough money to do both. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and do this. That means I'm taking that contract for the iron ore. So we're going to get 79 grand. And I need to get a train going. And I also need to lay some more track. Like that. I'm only at 14 grand now, so I don't have enough to do the so I can carry 5 of these bad boys and still go 30 miles an hour. This is an awesome train. And I'm going to go ahead and deliver to here. I only need to do 9. So we'll go ahead and get that going. Grain and meat will cost less. I'm not as concerned. So we're going to go ahead and unpause this. Now, to get the track for this wheat to go into that meat and then this, that's going to be another quite a bit, because then I got to pay for trains too. And then how many meat do I have to deliver? 7. So what I could do is I could actually just buy a warehouse in Cleveland and just buy the 7 meat. I wonder if that would come out cheaper. I bet it would be at least 50 grand in meat, because the meat's usually 7 grand a piece. So I bet I'd have to. Let's try that. So 10 grand, 15 grand for the warehouse. The meat is 4 grand each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That wasn't too bad. We'll sign the meat contract. And then we'll go to the city market and we're going to sell to the contract. And then boom. Just like that, I made 80 grand. And that actually gave me, I got a profit out of that. That's the warehouse track. Warehouses can be powerful. So then I didn't have to lay all this track to that farm. So now all I need to do is lay track to that coal mine, then run a train from this coal mine down to that steel mill. And we can get that steel mill running, use that steel to make some of this. Alright, so we got 30 grand going. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just get a John Bull. We're going to get 3 oil. Deliver it there. And you can see we are sort of draining the people. There's only 3 people available here. So I wonder if, are we having to wait? Get ourselves some nice money. It would be nice to own these industries. So for example, owning that oil well would be nice. Owning this oil refinery would be nice. But I don't own anything at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and get that researched. Soil works minus 12%. It's decent. Get another train going, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make it repair. Come back for 8 more. Deliver 8. Come back for 8 more. Deliver 8. Now, Andrew made the comment, why can't you also bring passengers back? You can. So, for example, when I came up here to deliver, I could pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, but then I would have to add Columbus as a stop along the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would just move it up like that. So when I go to Canton, I'll drop off the gasoline, the kerosene, I'll pick up some passengers, take it to Columbus, drop it off on my way back to picking up more. Very doable. Here you can see I'm actually, I only lose 1 mile per hour because this thing carries weight so well, but the max speed is only 35. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And as you can see, I got 47 grand. I'm going to pay back our bonds. Get that off our chest. And then as you can see, this one is dwindling down. There's only 47,000 left in the repay. 4 months left at pretty much 12 grand. And our passenger guys, we are dwindling we're going to get to a point where they're just going to be sitting here waiting for passengers. So what I could do is, for example, I can start, for T4 here, we're going to deliver, and then I can try to pick up more mail. It does go a little bit slower, but then I'm dropping off and picking up more mail. Let's get it all. I'm going to pause. Whoops. There we go. So he's going to go 46 miles an hour instead of 55. It does make him go a little bit slower, but it'll alleviate the population problem, where I'm basically, the passengers aren't replenishing quick enough. And you can see there, he's going to take 1 less passenger and a little bit more mail. And here we go. So we got the oil going. Because I don't own any of the industry, I'm going to be buying all my stuff. So it is going to cost me, this is going to cost me 7 grand each. And I'm buying 8 of them. So this is the part you got to be careful about, because it will go negative, and you can easily go to negative 200 grand like nothing when you're buying goods for these higher prices. Also, this is getting more expensive to purchase if I want to start purchasing stuff. I don't know if I might. It's 1,700 per oil, so I am gonna. Yeah, let's buy it. I want to buy both of these. Then I went negative really fast, and I bet it's because I just made a payment. Yep, I got 29 days left. I am getting to the point where I can just pay this sucker off. The monthly rate is 20%. That's pretty hefty. I'm going to go ahead and pay it. Alright, so now we don't have any debt per se. We are overdrafted, though. And we do have to deal with that. And this is 107,000. I'm going to buy that too. We're going to go in debt some more. And then in order to avoid loans, we could just, once again, issue some bonds. So now we're back in the positive. We'll pay $7,500 a month. Who's been doing nothing? Oh, we must have delivered a contract. Okay, that's where we got a lot of our money from. I forgot about that. So now we're actually going to just get rid of that, and we're going to come here to Brownsville, pick up the ore, and then we're going to deliver to the steel mill. We're going to start getting the steel mill going, and then same with this. I need to get another train going up here, and the moment that this oil gets enough to fill him up, we just need one more. This is going to make me some gangbuster money, because over here he's going to pay me 12 grand each. I was paying 7 grand to buy them, but I'm not paying the 7 grand anymore. I mean, I did pay 100 grand for the whole industry, so we are in a hole at the moment, but it'll pay off. Let's get another one going. We'll just do 6. Get that going. Steel mill is going to be going. This lubricant, we can start delivering to the tool factory. But I need to start having multiple tracks here first. I need 150,000 to pay that off. Our credit rating is excellent. Here you can see the passengers are still dwindling. So as much as this is getting me some good profit, I do have a lot of mail, as you may have noticed. And right here I'm getting 12 grand each. And then boom, boom, boom. This thing is just racking up, right? So I'm at a point now where I could just, bam. Oh, there's our rating right there. So we have a AAA rating right now, because everything's paid off. Okay, so this guy's coming back. We only have 3 right now built up, but it'll eventually get there. He's buying 8 at a time. His next trip is not going to be this short. He's going to go all the way up to Canton and then back. So this will finally start building up. So with that being said, I have some things like this I got to do. Got to get the repair shop going. Make sure he can repair. I don't need to spend the extra money right now to make it so he can repair quickly. This guy can repair here. Same with this one. I probably need a second path to go to Canton. So let's see. Cleveland requires meat again. I bet the global prices are still pretty bad. It's only 6 carriages. Let's see. Yep, it's still pretty high. So at 7 grand times 6, yeah, I'm going to be spending 54,000, and it's not going to stay at 7. It's going to keep going up. I don't think I can do this. Won't make much profit for me. If I had the farm going, then I would have been in great shape, but I don't. So I think I'm going to have to pass on that one. So yeah, we still got this cranking away. The John Bull was perfect. He can't carry as much oil, but it's such a short trip that it wasn't worth paying for a $40,000 train. And you can see the John Bull was more than keeping up because this thing takes time to process and burn the oil. Now it's going to get quicker as this town grows. The population effect will reduce it, and then we got the American. All right, so this is where it gets interesting. The American is an amazing train. We probably want to get the pulling mass. And we got max speed for everybody. Let's get that going. So for example, I can upgrade the Jervis to the American, but it's going to cost me 31 grand. And then I think the American looks like this, and then I have this Jupiter. It looks like this. I think this was because I bought it as part of like a promo package when Railroad Corporation got released. Like I was one of the early buyers, so I don't remember why I have this, but it's a shiny little train. So we'll go ahead and do a Jupiter, and the max is 62. So I can actually do this, and you can see the speed is going from 56 miles an hour to 51. So I can add another mail without even blinking. And because the population is an issue, I'm going to go ahead and just add more mail. And it does drop me to 47. But as I research pulling mass and max speed and stuff like that, this is actually going to go back into the 50s. So I can reduce it to 2 and 3 mail, and then I'm not draining the population so badly. So I could do it again here. Buy us a Jupiter and cut those out. I gotta be careful though, because the mail will drain. I mean, it's only 30, and when I'm doing 3 at a time across multiple trains, and I don't need the other trains to necessarily reduce, because I mean, I am down to 0 passengers here, but basically all I'm trying to say is that the other ones can still, it might be able to keep up with the other ones. Alright, so we got that done. Let's get some aging researched. Aging is very important. And so yeah, this train is waiting. He only needs 2 guys, but we were down to 0 at one point. But he has everybody he needs, so he could go. And then T2 here is still a Jervis. I will upgrade it, but I just won't change his itinerary. And then we upgraded to the Jupiter, and look, it's even shinier on the map. It's got this little gold plating. And so we got this guy, he's going to Canton. So now that's going to give a lot more time to go here. And so here we go. Here's our first one. In short, I need money. Can you collect 50,000 for me in 90 days? He has a backup plan, but you get 200 experience points for it. That's the whole value. And you are allowed to like take a loan to get that 50 grand. So if you're really short and not able to crank out the money, that's an option. And I'm realizing I actually have an extra iron I'm carrying around. So that's a problem. I was supposed to sell it here. It was part of that special mission that we did. So I'm going to just sell 1 extra iron here. But that means he's moving super slow. All right, so it completed, but it took the 50 grand from us, and that's fine. Um, and we got our, you know, nice little 200 experience points there. Now this weapons delivery has to be all the way up here. But remember, once again, you get no money for delivering weapons there. But that is eventually what we need to do. We got some nice steel going. This is going to be our bottleneck at the moment. Cambridge demands ore. We have no lumber at the moment, so that's not a thing for us. Look at that, Zanesville. By the way, I grew up um, in the Pittsburgh area. Zanesville, Ohio is not very far from where I eventually graduated high school. And I've always lived in the Pennsylvania side of things, but Ohio wasn't very far from where I was near the border. So Zanesville was not super far. Um, in fact, I think there's like a rock and roll. Well, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think, is in Canton, which, as you can see, is not very far away from Zanesville. And Zanesville has a lot of rock and roll history. That much, that's like the big thing that I remember from it. Um, but anyways, Zanesville is a place I've actually been to many times in my life. Um, Probably the one place in Ohio I've been to the most. And then I have been to Cleveland a few times. Sandusky is funny because this is where the SeaWorld was. So we went here for the SeaWorld many times, and then they have Cedar Point and Geauga Lake, I think was the name of it. It's a water park called Geauga Lake. So we used to drive to there to go, do some stuff. Pittsburgh has Kennywood, and I don't recognize these towns. Warren, this is Pennsylvania here. Warren, that's Warren, PA. And then Erie has to be like right here. So it's just off the map. And so basically I lived right here. I was in this general area, maybe a little further south, near Bowerston. Because I remember Zanesville not being, yeah, it was about, yeah, that's about right. I lived right around here. So Interstate 80, I was right along Interstate 80, not too far from there on Pennsylvania. So, and then I grew up on Route 40, the national road, which in a town called Uniontown, Pennsylvania, which was much further south of Pittsburgh, but that's nowhere near this map. Very big coal town. Uniontown was actually one of the richest cities in the country at one point. It's a slumhole now. I almost used another word. Uniontown is crap these days. I have friends that are still there, and God bless them. That's all I have to say. Um, so the joke has always been, you know, if Pittsburgh is the heart. Um, so I wasn't too far from Butler, Pennsylvania. Uh, Interstate 80 is about, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes north of Butler. So I lived between Butler and Interstate 80. Anyways, Butler, Pennsylvania, I refer to it as the armpit of. So Pittsburgh's the heart. Butler, Pennsylvania is the armpit, and then Uniontown is the jock, or the rear end. Um, and that's the way I put it. So the two places I lived were they're not places I'm very excited to go back to. Butler is well known for people still being quite racist there, and like true racism, not like the fake racism you see on CNN, like the real deal. And um, anyways, it's one of those things, and it's a very Pennsylvania is got some weird culture, that's for sure. But I love Pittsburgh. I graduated from there. Pittsburgh's a very wonderful town. In fact, I would like to go back someday. It's just that there's some strange areas around it, And Ohio's not any better. Don't get me any wrong. Cleveland is like the capital of the world for kidnapping people and locking them in their basement. Um, so uh, Ohio's full of a lot of weird people too. Sorry, I'm going on a rant, but it's like I grew up in this area, and I do get along really well with people from that area. I know I just made fun of them, and they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. But uh, it's still I don't know. I still like mentally we just think alike and we get along very well. I live in the Midwest now, and the Midwest is well known for its for being nice and polite, and it's a fake nice, and so it's really hard to handle sometimes, and it's very there's a lot of passive aggressive, so people will, hey, do you want to go ice skating tonight? And everybody's like, well, I might, I got to talk with the wife. Meanwhile, they already know they're not going, but they don't want to tell you no, and they want to like let you down easy. And so they just make you deal with this long drawn out drama about how they need to talk to their wife or whatever. And it's like, dude, just say no if you don't want to go. Because what ends up happening is you end up finding out that he never talked to his wife at all. And then you speak with his wife, and she's like, oh, God, I wish he would have gone ice skating. It'd be nice to get him out of the house and out of my hair. And so you find out these things, right? Because they basically, passive aggressive Midwestern people are basically lying to you. They're lying to you, and they justify it and rationalize it by saying that they're being nice, because they're being nice to your feelings. And the problem is you end up finding out. I mean, if you have any ability to ask questions or talk to people, and so then you're thinking, why is this dude lying to me? And you start to think, there's something wrong with you, but it's just their own insecurities. I mean, they're extremely insecure people. And what's really crazy is the Midwest will tell you if you show emotions, that's a sign of weakness. And so they don't show emotions, and they lie to you because they're insecure. So to me, that's about as wimpy and weakness as it gets. But I'm more East Coast, and there we tell each other to piss off, and then we buy each other a beer. I don't, the Midwest thing is really difficult to deal with. So anyways, sorry for the rant, but I guess I'm just trying to let the money earn and roll in, which it has. So we got a nice amount of money now, and let's get this next train going. All right, and we got a second path here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get. I can only fit 5 of them. Get those delivered. And I also want to make sure we have no more Jervises. So we'll upgrade that to a Jupiter. Oh yes. Let's make this so it's not so painful. Alright, we got that going. See, we're building up some oil now. Or kerosene, I mean. And then this needs a double track. So we have a saying in Pittsburgh: the only sign of life in Cleveland is Pittsburgh, 140 miles, and they are pretty close to each other. It's maybe what a 2.5 hour drive to get between them. All right, so we got that going. I need to get another train, and we're going to buy some steel, and I can basically carry 4. It's a little slow, but this is not a high-speed train area. I would maybe like a second one of these trains because the big limiting factor on the steel, as you can tell, is the iron, and this guy has the longest to go. So if I'm going to start really getting serious about using this steel, so we get that going, and then we could just replicate this guy. So we've got plenty of money going. I have a tool factory up here. I know, as you guys know, I like to just transfer the steel straight to the tool factory without having to do the back and forth. We already own the tool factory, so it's sort of difficult to justify that. So I'm going to just go ahead and do the back and forth. I still need lumber, so that's my limiting factor there. And it's definitely going to take me a while to get some lumber going. I got this guy as maxed out as possible. I can now afford to make the maintenance a little faster on this guy. It's not super big deal. As you can see, we got the trains going up to do the deliveries. So when he is delivering, I'm basically making him go into Columbus, stop, turn around, and go back. There's no other way. I mean, there's no way to cut through this mess. That's actually the cleanest thing to do. I am at 400 grand, so the next thing now is let's get Cleveland upgraded. Let's make sure the pathway between Cleveland is good. Let's give them some nice set of options. And I'm actually going to connect to the pathway that goes to Canton. So we got that going. I'm going to get Canton upgraded. And then we're going to go out the back here. I'm going to connect to Cleveland for now, but I'm going to reserve the right to just keep going. But for now, that's what we're going to do. And let's see, kind of employees. Cost of research, passenger profit plus 17%. I will take that. I'll go ahead and do that. Alright, we're going to pay out the yin yang here. So there's two ways to do this. We could try to go along the shore and around, or the part that just cracks me up is just come right out over the lake. Go straight to Detroit. Upgrade Detroit. Get it to max size. It's doing a tunnel, which is interesting. I'm not paying attention to how much this is costing me, but it must be a fortune because I was at 300,000 not too long ago. Yeah, it's about $100,000 a run. Did I need 3 tracks? Probably not. I got plenty of people here. You can see the number of people are actually building up a lot. because I changed a couple of those to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another Jupiter. We're going to do 3 and 2. And we're going to now go all the way to Detroit. And then here in Detroit, Rock City, get a repair station going. It's going to be a major hub. Now remember, Chatham-Kent is our directive. However, this is going to be our major sawmill. So I'm going to buy that sawmill for 90. I am running low on money. So Brownsville. Yeah, it's too far away. You can see we got some stuff cranking here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this Menmon purchased. And I can only carry 2. The weapons are very expensive. I can only carry 2 at a time. So we're going to deliver 2 to here. Then pick up 2 more. And deliver 2 to there. So at that rate, we should be doing good. And in fact, I'm going to copy the train. Because we're going to be making these a lot quicker than we can transport them. Now what I should be doing is buying this. Because you can see I have to spend 40 grand just to buy one of these suckers. They are paying 19 grand for our steel and 6 grand for the lubricants. The steel is making good money for us. So we're basically getting 60 grand just from selling the steel there. But it makes 2 of these, which we're going to pay 80 grand for. So that's the dilemma. And in this steel mill, we don't own this either. So we're paying 11 grand for each steel. That's not too bad. We're making some money delivering all of our stuff. $276,000 is an awful lot of money. In fact, I would lose the game if I bought this. It would have put me at like negative 190, and then the interest alone would have. Now I could take a bond right now. See, look, I'm making 6 grand each there, so I'm up to 100 grand. This guy's going to come in and buy 2 of these. That'll take 80 grand away from me. So I gotta make that decision. Do I want to do it? If so, I gotta do it right now. This will make me some money. And I'm gonna let him pick up. So he's gonna spend 80 grand. But here I'm gonna get 20 grand each. It just gave me 80 grand right back. That's 80 more grand. The price for this dropped. The price goes up because the goods that are produced are part of the price. So we bought 80 grand worth of goods and the price of it dropped by at least 40. So it wasn't a 1-for-1, but it is a lot cheaper. And I have 100,000, so I'm going to go ahead and do it this time. That does put us into some serious debt. I don't want this to pitter-patter our weight. It's going to put us in even more debt. But remember, I can issue a bond or whatever I need to do. And do that right now for 200 grand. And boom, we're back in the positive. At least on paper. Alright, so that one's going back. It delivered the lubricants and then it's moving on. The steel it uses 3 steel a pop. So this factory was the perfect kind of factory to have here. It would have been closer for me to deliver the lubricants, and the steel would have been able to transfer a little bit easier. But we're doing good because now that we got 2 trains delivering these, you can see we got the steel at least. It's able to support the steel that's going to here and to there. This is building up. I need to get the lumber going. That's where I need the extra profits. So here you're going to see they're going to sell these two to Columbus. And it's going to be both trains. And then they're going to go up to Cleveland for the next set. So right there, 55 grand each. Boom. And then we're going to get 55 grand again on the next one that comes down, which is this one right here. So after he sold the 55 grand, he's going to replenish, and he'll go back and get 2 more. Which, by the time he goes to Cleveland, that thing will have enough produced. So we're gonna be fine. So yeah, we're at the spot where we can just pay this off. We're back in the clear. And I am paying 11 grand each for the steel. So let's go ahead and get this going. So we're just getting those Americans more and more powerful. We have a lot of slow trains mixed in with the fast ones. So I'm trying not to have the slow trains on our expressway here, but we are going to have to start doing a little bit of that. But let's get this set up. We have 844 days. So I'm going to use the medium path here and go to the lumber mill. And I guess they call it a sawmill. Oh, we already purchased it a while ago. I totally forgot about that. Should have been using that. This is pretty late in the game actually to be doing this. Alright, so we got 2 dedicated tracks going to there. And then from here, this is where it gets interesting. I'm actually going to upgrade him to a full size. This rightmost one is going here. And we're going to go ahead and hire a train. We're going to go ahead and do 8. The middle one can come up, and you can see it goes back to here. And once again, we're going to get one going. 8 to there. And then we have a left one. Which can go there. We have more wood than we know what to do with. We get 8 more. So now what I'm going to do though is, like you can see, there's wood demand here. So what I could do is I have 3 trains delivering 8 wood each, so 24 wood at a time. We're going to overwhelm this thing. We could help Flint to grow, but it'll grow just from doing what we're doing. And right here is a printing house. So we're going to take this, and it's going to go straight to the printing house. And we're going to have another train. We're going to buy 8 and deliver it to there. Let's get more research going. I'm sort of surprised we're not making more money. But I guess I'm spending a lot at the moment. And yeah, I gotta eventually deliver these as our objective. I gotta deliver 15 weapons, in fact, to Chatham, Kent. So that is a thing I eventually have to do. And whoops. I'm gonna go ahead and just buy that. We're gonna get this to come up and go straight to there. We're gonna just do 5. And then I think we're gonna come back, get 5 more. Come back, get 5 more. Then we're going to get a second train that's doing this, and then a third train to do it. Alright, next, we got the lumber issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one track that goes past here, past Cleveland, and goes straight to there. Who is this guy? Oh, yeah. So all the trains we're buying that we're sending up there are going to head along that path. And then we're going to get another train. And we're going to get some lumber. 6 of them. Go to the tool factory. Now, I have a lot of other uses for lumber. I would probably just have that lumber delivered to Detroit. We could build like a furniture factory here or something. But for now, that's all I need it for. And you can see I'm really deep in a hole. And that's because I'm buying something for a lot of money somewhere. I don't know what it was, but I just bought a crap ton of something. I bought 4 of these for 11 grand each. Kent and now demands paper. Yeah, we just went in a hole fast there. Wonder what the heck I just did to make us go so deep in the hole. But here you can see we're making some money again. So here we're going to go sell our weapons to Columbus. That'll make us some nice money. We're coming back. I think we went 44 grand in the hole there for that steel mill. I should probably buy this, so we're not spending so much on the steel. But I am making money selling these 2 things, so it's not so bad. And you'll notice that on this particular map, I'm not even doing the meat and stuff. I have 3 for sale signs here, and I'm not doing anything with that either. It's really hard. I mean, you can see I'm in the hole. Everything I set up requires a lot of investment. And then I need to get this guy to deliver tools to here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it by branching off from here. So there we go. I'm still 101 grand in the hole. I could probably issue some bonds, but as soon as I start delivering those weapons here, this is going to go way out. And so I'm going to go ahead and let's get that started. I need to start delivering to Chatham-Kent. And then I might as well do that along the way. Now, one of the things, as you notice, I don't have a double track here. So I can at least do that much. It does get more expensive, so here I need another 100 grand. So he's going to take that 100 grand from me. But I did successfully do the mission. And let's land on the land here. That was 100 grand, but now I got multiple tracks going up there, so then they hopefully won't interfere with the lumber delivery. And yeah, so here I'm not able to sell my steel anymore because I don't have any lumber. I should. There you go. There's my lumber guy. So I'm going to go ahead and get another one going because it's just such a long trip to deliver that lumber. And here you can see the lumber is coming in. So one of the things I got to do is make it so they can cross the track here. That'll allow them to use both tracks for a while. So you see he's leaving now, using the other track. Alright, we got 700 days left still. And I have one train that's going to be delivering the 15 weapons. It will take him a while because he's going to have to go all the way down here and then up. But I could do a track that goes straight up this way, which is more direct. But I'm going to leave it be. Here you can see it's getting very full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this guy to deliver to there. And here you can see got my guys waiting for their paper or their books, but it'll eventually work itself out. And yeah, having 3 log mine, that's probably a lot more wood than I need. But if this city ever grows enough, I can build a second sawmill here. But yeah, everything is coming together really nicely. The kerosene thing doesn't seem to be overdone. Over here, we are more or less keeping up. The lubricants we have way too much of, but that's pretty standard. And the lubricants is more than enough here, as you can see. We are waiting for more weapons to be made, and they will. The steel, how's that doing? We're sort of keeping up there too, so no worries there. Now, because we have this, we could, I mean, this is probably something I should have set up a while ago. The only issue is, which track am I going to use? Some of these are already way overdone. We'll go ahead and overdo that one some more. Do 10 at a time. What did I do? I bought a sawmill? Oh, I'm such a jerk. That's not what I wanted to buy. I spent way too much money on something. I meant to buy the farm. A lot cheaper. And why I'm saying I should have done it a long time ago is because look how short of a trip this is. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go here and do the usual suspects. See, look, this guy, his trip is so short that there's no wood left here. And then I'm actually going to I'm going to make it even worse. I'm going to take this, buy it, and then sell it to the market. So the train's actually not going to be very active anymore. But that's okay, because he's delivering to this spot, and it doesn't need any more wood. And then same here. I'm going to go ahead and buy. And have them just sell to the market there. Now, that is going to cause me to not be able to deliver any wood. But look at this. I got 40 sitting there. So I think I'm at a spot where I'm going to just let them have a chance to breathe a little. And then we're just going to sell to the city whatever we can, so the amount is not nearly as much. And let's get some repair going for these trains. There we go. And then this one should be, yeah, we finally got our books going. And then we got 2 more guys waiting for books. But trust me, this thing is cranking as fast as it can, and once he starts delivering books all the way down into Cleveland, they won't have the traffic jam. They're just going here first to Detroit. And you can see I've already done that run once with one of my guys. So once 3 of them go there, I'll have sold 15 books here. And then they'll go somewhere further away. And there you go, I got 300 grand. And we have a weapon guy. I know I bought a... There it is. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate him. So this guy's waiting for a free track. Who the heck is blocking him? There's nobody on his track. Okay, there he goes. I was going to say there should be nothing to wait for. Our tools are finally being made. I'm going to go ahead and buy 5. Alright, so we got 2 trains loading up at the tool factory. Yeah, this town's growing, so the population effect is reducing the time to make the books. This will eventually catch up. I probably went a little bit overboard at first buying 3 trains, but their delivery path is really long. I'm not really interested in contracts. As you can see, I'm rolling in the money now. And we've already delivered 2 of these. If we wait the 627 days, I think he's going to have another gambling issue. I've already got the weapons delivering going, so that gives me 1,500. And this is not an optional thing, so I am going to get some really good experience for it. Obviously, that one will get me more. So we got a nice little run going already. I'm already getting the weapons delivered. So it was a tough start because you had to go really far in debt, like I said. But once you get out of debt, and again, you got to be mindful. I was willing to buy trains. I was really to go as far into debt as possible. And then you got to make sure that they're fast trains and they're going farther enough away that there's enough profit. And 4 trains was what you need, and between Columbus and Cleveland was all you needed. And those 4 trains got us plenty of money, and now we're rolling in it. I mean, we can even come back here, and I can finally buy that last one and get that in place. Building construction price, sure. Price of all locomotives, sure. Nothing else. I'm basically at a spot where there's not much I really want to do. I will buy this field. I'm going to buy that steel mill now. As you can see, I got some meat going. So now I'm going to sell it here. So boom, this is going to go into the millions. Just sold a bunch of meat. We got stuff being delivered here. So T7 was just passing through, and you can see he's waiting for a free track, which he is going to get pretty soon here. This one's going to Chatham, Kent, so we got more weapons going to be delivered. One thing, like, to make sure I haven't forgotten anything, like, see here, you can see, like, these are light green. You can see I forgot to turn on repairs for these guys, and then these ones have nowhere to repair at all. So I'm going to go ahead and have them repair here. And there we go. We got those going. So I'm sitting on $1 million now. Basically, the world's my oyster. So I am trying to get my research going. Like I said, all this research we're doing, we're going to have to do it again. But for now, it is nice to stay on top of that. Look at this. Kerosine's getting me lots of money. Get another one of those trains going. I basically just have the luxury to do whatever I want now. So I got 2 tracks coming up to here. In fact, I didn't even need to do that. As you can see, and just connect there directly. And then I could completely get rid of this track here, which makes it so this line is dedicated for the lumber. But see, the lumber guys need 2 tracks too. Otherwise they get lonely, right? So I don't know how much I can squeeze in between here, but I'm doing it. And there it is. And of course you can see I got a train sitting here waiting for somebody else. I don't know what exactly it's waiting for, but it is waiting. We got this guy coming up. I bet he's going to Cleveland. Yep, he is. $87,000 in bridges. Look at that. Ay, ay, ay. Would have been nice if I would have had the bridges reduction in contract, right? Alright, well, I'm going to just make another one. Whoops. We're going to make another Cleveland one. So the train can just take that one. Well, this guy broke down. Yeah. So now we got a little bit of blockage there. Some more research going. You can see we're at 4 out of 15. We got 2 more coming, so we're going to be at 6 out of 15 very soon. Now remember, I'm bringing like passengers back. See, this is going to make him wait, because this guy's going to come. He needs 5 passengers, and there's none to be had. So that's, Andrew, you asked the question, why don't you do that? This is the risk you take. I'm not saying it's always a bad risk, but like in this situation, this train's going to repair for 60 seconds, which is fine. But this is going to only get 1 passenger in 40 seconds. So he's going to sit here and wait and wait and wait for 5 passengers to fill up. So we're going to be delaying our ability to deliver the weapons. That may not be a big deal because I got 500 days left and I don't necessarily want to speed rush this thing. But that's your trade-offs. Also, I know I'm building up some meat here. Okay, so here you can see the goods are, like, we got a decent amount of weapons, decent amount of tools. The books still haven't made it down here. We got some kerosene going. The meat's full. I haven't bothered doing whiskey yet. I could do whiskey. I need lumber though. I don't know how much surplus lumber we have. Oh, we got plenty of surplus lumber. And then you can see here, this thing is still cranking as fast as it can. So sure, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to buy another property. We're going to get some whiskey going. And we're going to sell whiskey here. And we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To there. We're going to sell to here, but only if he has more than 15. And six lumber. We'll have 2 trains doing that. Looks like we got plenty going here. Yeah, so having him wait to sell the steel was fine. That allows this steel mill to build up a little bit. And obviously we're draining the steel there because this guy's cranking out nonstop. You can see we're still at 6. Some more steel's coming right now. Oh, that's not steel, that's the lubricants. So yeah, that train's going to be waiting. This one, nope. Where is the steel guy? Oh, there he is. He's coming back. So he only delivers 4 at a time, which basically means you get 1 run. So it produces 2. I could duplicate the steel guy. Yeah, let's do that. And then I need to help them out because I got a lot of trains using this first track. So we're going to use the second track. Get that going. And we can even have it connecting over, if that helps. Get another one. So the big advantage here is this middle line is only used for the 2 ore trains. Only 2 trains are using this middle one. I have a whole crap ton of trains that are using this left line. So I'm going to try to use the middle line more to get these trains out. You can see this train here was able to take advantage of that. So that'll get the traffic jam moving a little bit better. And then I just made another line. So the middle line has 2 lines that come out of it. So they could... Right now the middle line's being consumed by this guy coming in, but then if somebody's ready to go and they're waiting for track, we can get them moving. So there goes one, right? So he just needs to get back to grab some more weapons. And now that one actually used the left line. Here you got 2 of them. So this is the ore guy. So he's using the middle line and he just used the bottom part. This guy here is the meat delivery. So he used the middle line and went up. And look at this. That's probably another ore guy. Yep. This is being consumed coming down. So you can see he's coming down this path. So he'll eventually hit the middle line. But all the logjam here is clearing up. This one's waiting on meat, which makes sense because I built all those trains at the same time. So I did a big mad rush on the meat. We're down to 437 days, still only 6 out of 15. It takes a while for them to get up there. Rush on the lumber. See, it eventually filled this thing up completely. And so now, for example, this guy is trying to deliver to here, and there's nothing left to deliver. So I'm just going to go ahead and have him go back to the wood mill. And here you can see it's full up. And same up here. So we have all of our spots completely filled, even with the it delayed it a little bit, but you could see they got plenty in the sawmill. So we basically have this thing filled up as best as we can. We got 60 wood delivered here. I could take the lumber and start selling it to Flint, but obviously we need it for the trains going down below. But what I could do is set this up and we can sell it to Flint if we ever get up to, let's say it gets up to 18, right? So the whiskey refinery is completely full. So even though this wheat field is drained, it's going to get a break because I was having 2 trains coming up here and loading 10 at a time. The farm, of course, is going to, it's consuming the wheat pretty fast. I still haven't delivered any books. How are we doing with the books up here? We still got a log jam. That one's delivering the paper. This one's waiting on books. And see, look, after he gets his books, he's going to go all the way down to Columbus. So Columbus is going to start getting his books. That means the other 2 have already gone. This one's going to Columbus. So that means there's one already well on its way. Maybe it already got there. There it is. So we finally delivered some books to Columbus. So that's going to be a long trip for all 3 of them. And that's going to allow the book factory here to produce some books quicker, or at least stockpile a few. He needs to load 4 more, and at the rate these are going, those other trains might actually return. Alright, so we got new land in Zanesville. We got actually 2 new. I don't know what to really build here. I could get a small farm going and deliver some wheat, which would get some meat going for both of these guys. I mean, I'm rolling in the money. That's just, you know, what do you call that? Bloat. I could do it. It would be a very easy money-making scheme. It's not necessary at all. We are doing fine. I could, yeah, so the oil is still, we're delivering oil quicker than he's producing. If I were to, for example, build the farm, the one advantage this is going to give us is sorry. can't walk and chew gum. It's going to help the town to grow quicker. And if the town grows quicker, then it'll process that oil faster. Because right now we're getting a 70-second bonus by selling the meat and doing all that stuff. It'll make the town maybe get a little bigger. So, for example, Columbus here is pretty big. And that's only a 70-second bonus for them, but this is 49 seconds. And there's 49. That'll be interesting. What's the bonus on this one? 49. So it doesn't matter how much bigger the city gets. The population's not making that much of a difference. That's interesting. Alright, so that one's waiting on meat. He's waiting to deliver his grain. Waiting for track. And then we got a tool delivery going on. We're up to 8 now. Out of 15, 376 days left. I actually may want to accelerate this, because it is taking them their sweet old time to get up there. Some of it, though, is because we're buying the weapons for other purposes. And maybe I need to stop doing that, because look, we're running a little short there. I thought I bought a second steel delivery. Here it is. He needs 200 grand, which we have plenty of. He's going to give me 365 days. That was easy enough. We just got ourselves 400 more points. I missed almost every one of these when I played this the first time around. So that's 900 experience points there I missed out on. I think I may have gotten that last one. How is it that that's going to Canton? Do I really have 2 trains here? Look at that. That thing's fully maxed out even with the lumber. Alright, there's one of the Lima ones. T10. I thought I copied the Lima. There's T9. T15. Maybe I didn't. I would swear that I did. Yeah, so Columbus to Lima. I don't remember that. I would swear I had a train that was much earlier than T37 going from Columbus to Canton. Right there. So somehow or another I copied the wrong train. I got 2 trains delivering steel here. And I needed to have 2 trains delivering steel there. That was my mistake. Alright, I'm going to dump the steel here. And it's too much to have 3 trains go in there, but that's what we're going to do. And this is a little precarious. Gonna get another one going so we can get more ore here. We want this thing to be going non-stop. It uses 2 ore for every 2 steel that it produces. We got all the research going, so we're completely caught up on research. Nothing else to do. I can just crank this up, and then when it's done, it's done. We're up to 10 on the weapons. We can click on our trains, so we got, see there I got a green. Alright. Now what this could be is aging. It's 913 days out of, as you can see there, 2700. So it is aging a bit, and so you can see that the total condition is just overall lower. So what I could do is I'll just replace it with himself at the next stop. And the replacement will be waiting right there. You don't have to like wait for it to go all the way. And then this is a Menmun, which you can see has aged a bit. No big deal. I'll just go ahead and auto replace that. Here's another green one. Same deal. Like, got the nice healthy green, and then those were like the puke green. Alright, so then our research is done. There's nothing more there. So our scientists are just going to have to be idle for the rest of the scenario, where it's okay to end the scenario at any time. I got 10 out of 15 delivered. I would tell you I'm going to go ahead and do more. Oh, you know what? We got to get rid of these guys. That's actually slowing us down. Where do you suppose the other one is? There we go. Gotta get rid of the passenger thing, because I think that's making them wait too long here for the passengers to replenish. And then for good measure, I'm going to just buy another one. Alright, Lansing has more land. So this is a logging place. So I could put a sawmill here and then just crank out more lumber, but I think we're doing okay. Yeah, in fact, we got a lot of lumber. I do have that rule in place that if it does get high enough, it'll sell. The books are still... We still got a train waiting on the books here. Alright, so what's this guy doing? Yep, he's the delivery of that. There's some more weapons heading up to the objective. The steel is still the short... So, like, I could make a weapons factory here. Like, where is this? 10,000 construct. So, for example, we make a weapons factory here. The where's the train? This guy. So instead of selling the Lima, I'm just gonna have them sell there. And then we can have this sell to here if there's more than 5. And then I can take this train. I can basically stop trying to transport steel up to the other side. So for example, this is Columbus to Lima. I'm going to scrap the train. This one's coming back. I'm going to scrap the train. I'm going to go ahead and let this produce again. But like here, they're doing the for money ones. I'll go ahead and let this guy continue to deliver some steel there. There's some more for money ones. Like this one's going to Chatham, Kent. I can change it now and say, hey, I want you to get your from Columbus. So he's going to go up to Lima, but then he's going to stop. And instead of this one, when he comes back, he's going to come to Columbus instead. Steel mill had to stop. So you can see the weapons factory is running now. The steel mill is lagging behind here, but it's a lot easier than trying to transport 3 steel at a time up to here. I still have one train doing that, so he is going to steal from here. Steal, pun intended. But I'm making enough surplus steel, as long as this iron ore keeps coming in, to keep this going. And I don't know, is it really just that far of a trip? I guess it is. That's where the third track is. So I'm just going to branch off. We'll make sure they have plenty of space to do their thing. Come on down, and we're actually going to have him, whoops, I'm going to have him connect to this side. Oh, did I just freeze up? I crashed. Oh my goodness, I crashed. That's what I get for, see, I was laying track while it was not paused. And I did make the call, right, that you could crash your game. And then they said it doesn't crash that often, but there it is. I just crashed it. So I have to rely on an autosave, and I don't know how far back that autosave goes. Well, it's definitely not back far enough for the yep, So I'm going to change that from Lima to there. Alright, so we got 3 tracks. I need them to be delivering ore as fast as possible. You can see I made it up to 12. I want to intercept as many, like that I'm okay with. I'm okay with him still bringing a little bit of steel up there. So we got, so this is going from Chatham-Kent to Columbus. Alright, so we're just going to let it play out a little bit here. This, of course, is waiting on lumber, and we knew that was going to be a bit of a trip. There we go, the whiskey refinery's running. You can tell I've sold a bunch. Who's he heading to? Yep. Those are the new recruits. We got our weapons factory running, so this guy... Whoops. What's he doing? Columbus to Lima? That's the one I think I'm okay with. Yeah. So as soon as these two produce, the Chatham-Kent guy can go. New land available at Flint. There we go. So now I got 2 sawmills going. The one thing is, if in case you're wondering, if I tell them to pick up from this sawmill, they won't pick up from the other one. They're not smart enough. So, but I could have like this one, for example, start selling to the city. While these other guys are feeding this bear. New land available in Greenville. Huh, interesting. So yeah, everything's growing. I'm at 14 weapons, by the way. 210 days left to go. I think. So I bought a lot more of these guys, so we should get a lot more iron ore coming in. So you need 2 of these to keep the steel going. I need 3 of these to produce 2 of those, but you can see I got 2 just sitting here waiting. It was just more efficient when you need 3 steel to produce 1 of these. You might as well have your steel mill and this in the same city. Trying to transport, like, the steel is just so heavy. I mean, even a Menmon could only transport, what, 4 at a time? And it's moving at 29 miles an hour. It's not very fast. Just, it's not very, very good to try to transport the steel. And sure enough, I mean, we did take some steel away for this guy, which I did approve. We got some iron coming in, which is good. Got a bit of a logjam here. This is, I actually don't know how they're going to resolve this. This is grain coming in and this is grain coming out, and they're both in the same track. I've never seen that happen before, where they allowed trains to logjam each other like that. Ah, so they're waiting for him to go this way. Let's see. He's going all the way up here, but he needs to go there. Wow, what a weird thing for him to do. This one is one I was supposed to fix. Got 179 days left. There's got to be somebody on his way up there, right here. There we go. This is going to end the mission. And I should have sped up the game. My apologies. I like watching it on regular speed. I don't know. There's something satisfying about a train game. There really is. And boom. That'll end the mission. So we're once again between missions. I wanted to get all the research stuff done, so I'm going to spend the 1,700 there. That was a very expensive purchase. I have 1,300 left. I can only really get one more of something. I could do these. This one might be helpful because, as you know, we're buying a lot of industry now. This is only for when you're buying from scratch. If you're buying an already existing industry, this does not help. But there's a big part of me that wants to maybe get these things unlocked. This geologist is actually very important. The only reason I've ignored it is because I started the game with some geology bonuses. Already. But I'm going to go ahead and get that one for 650. And yeah, we're good to go. So we go on to the next mission. There's nothing more to add. It's a pity our contract comes to the end. I would not want to let you set up shop on your own. You already know a lot, but I don't need the competition. I want to take a break, and the board of directors is really excited about our latest achievements. Create a powerful railway network to which cities with a total population of 120,000 people will be joined. To use any method, create a law lobby department. So this is, I think, the last of the tutorials. There's now going to be this, you could do things to ratify bills. It's an interesting concept, but in practice, I almost don't even care. But when you're really short on money, this is sort of important. So we can influence voting on different laws. And so what you could do is, like, they could pass a bill to put a tax on grain, which means that when you sell grain, you're going to make a lot less money. Your profits will be reduced by as much as 90%. I mean, you really will get neutered. But most of the time, I own the industry, so I don't make any money at all for selling the grain. So it's only if they do a tax on, like, an end good, which they typically don't do. So, like, the laws don't impact me as much. But they could do an incentive thing where if you're buying something, you actually get to buy it for dirt cheap. So that's cool too. And they also do incentives on mail and passengers, which could make a difference. So he's saying, is this really the end? I think we do get fired after this one. So here you go. We got to set up a lobbying department. We have to get 120,000 people worth of cities connected. So basically, we just need to connect to as many cities on the map as possible. So the issue there is it's going to cost $5,000 per station every time you connect to one. So it's just expensive. They start you in Montgomery with some sail. You got 30 people, so passengers, right, is already your screaming mantra. You got a perfect place for a steel mill here. Look at that. And then since we have 2 for sale signs, we can do a steel mill and then either a tool factory or, like we were doing last time, a weapons factory. We got oil refinery, which further reinforces a weapons factory, right? Because you get the lubricants right there, and then you got the oil to build that. We got more oil down here, so we have plenty of stuff going on. We own a textile factory, so we actually purchase this and we could destroy it, and then we could actually make this thing a steel town. With we can put the tool factory here too. But the textile factory, if you leave that there, there is cotton available that you can bring up and deliver to that textile factory. Down here in Pensacola, you got yourself a whiskey factory and a contract to deliver clothes. Again, no money for this. And then, so we're near Florida here, right? So you come along the Florida coast, and you can see this is 5 passengers. This one is a good one to connect to, right? 25 passengers. And the cool thing here is we could use the back trails to come this way, connect to Pensacola, and then the front trails to connect to, this is a different Columbus, Macon, Georgia. We got ourselves some nice passenger opportunities there. The only issue with this one is you're going over 2 rivers. So that's a very expensive connection. And then Tallahassee, you got yourself some nice stuff here. And I all of a sudden remember this now. This scenario is actually really hard. And one of the reasons it's hard is you have to, it's not listed here, but as soon as we hit go, you know what? I'm 2 hours in. We'll put this in the next video. Don't mean to be so suspenseful about it, but thanks for watching. Stay awesome.